was a massive weekend in sport with the Crusaders win an abysmal loss for the Warriors and Peter Burling jumping ship literally to Luna Rossa. New Zealand Herald sports reporters Alex Powell and Cam McMillan are with me in studio this morning. Good morning.
Morning.
Morning, mate.
Now, who was it that said, because Thursday was a long time ago because we had a long weekend, but who was it that said that the Chiefs were going to win?
I think it was both of us,
No, it wasn't me.
Cam.
Definitely Chris Reeve, who's in our show this morning. Maybe that's why.
So were we a little shocked, the result?
I mean, yes and no. Like, you'd back the Chiefs going into it, had probably the best record all season. Then the Crusaders, it turns out, in a final at home, are pretty unbeatable at the moment. So I think that's just how it went.
And the bit of redemption as well for Rob Penny?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, last year, there was talks that he should be dropped as coach, or axed, I guess you'd say. And he had big shoes to fill with Scott Robertson, leading the Crusaders to so many titles. And now he probably hasn't done Razor any favours at all, because he's kind of showing that how to stop Damien McKenzie, because he was pretty bad in the final. And so, yeah, it's good story for Penny, and also they're happy down south, but I'm not sure about the rest of the country.
No.
As it happens, it's always the Crusaders that win.
Yeah, that's the thing. It kind of gets a bit boring after a while, and we had a year where it didn't happen, and now it's back to...
Yeah, I want to say it didn't live up to the hype, but most of the talk was about cowbells. There wasn't really much hype.
Now, speaking of the All Blacks, you mentioned, Razor, the naming at midday today. It's a weird question to ask, what surprises are you expecting? Because you normally wouldn't know a surprise is coming, would you? But it's happening in Taranaki, which is an interesting point.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a very big gesture from Razor. Obviously, the bit of the chat this year has been, should Ardie Savea be the captain? It's happening in Taranaki because it's happening at Scott Barrett, who is the captain. That's his original club. Will we see any surprises? I don't think surprises. I think that'll be too strong of a word. But obviously, there's gaps in the squad. You've got a couple of guys who have left for Japan. You've got a couple of guys who are injured. So you look at someone like a Fabian Holland at the Highlanders. I'd be very surprised if he doesn't get a call up. You look at a guy like Jefferson Karifi at the Hurricanes, he'll probably be in there, or you hope. And then a guy like Quinn Tupaia, who played so well for the Chiefs this year, and if they lost the final, and you think, well, has he done enough to get a recall? So, I mean, it could go any one of a few ways.
Cam, you mentioned Damien McKenzie. Do you think any of the performances from the final on the weekend will affect the squad naming, or are those decisions already been locked in?
I think they'll be already locked in. I think before the final, Razor would have probably made maybe one or two names. I think the issue with someone like Damien McKenzie is goal kicking. I mean, the All Blacks you want a solid goal kicker, and heading into a test series, you just want someone who's going to be reliable, and I don't know if there is someone in that squad at the moment that can step up. They will have Geordie Barrett returning, but at least. But yeah, big exciting times. I'd throw in a few names in there, maybe like a Leroy Carter or Josh Jacob, if you're really looking at like a real bolter into the 35 players that get named today.
Now, what about, Alex, what about the Warriors playing the Panthers? And the Panthers were a weakened side and we still lost, and it was at home for us.
Yeah, it was a bad show for me on Thursday. I think I'm 0 for 2. No, I mean, you've got to give it to the Panthers. Like, they were coming in without 5 of their best players, but they've won 4 premierships in a row for a reason. They're a bloody good side. They're really well coached, and they just shut the Warriors down completely. They couldn't really get any sort of momentum at all.
We're still ahead of them on the table, though, aren't we?
Oh, yeah, easy.
Brilliant, guys. We have to leave it there because we're running up to news, but thanks so much for coming in this morning. Our sports panel this morning, Alex Powell and Cam McMillan from the New Zealand Herald.